Hello again, fellow humans. It's Pam here. I'm outside. There's a lot of sound. There's highway noise. There's somebody in a shop a couple blocks down with rock music blaring out the door. And that's okay. I'm okay with it. We'll see how it goes. If it's too distracting, then I will redo the video. But I thought I would go a little bit more raw and unregulated this time and just read from my notes and not pretend that I'm not reading from my notes or at least checking my notes. Also have a kind of lukewarm cup of coffee here left over. Rediscovering what I love. So I've been thinking about the fact that in trying to unthaw, in trying to rediscover myself after this hitting this wall of burnout, I began to notice that I've lost a lot of what made me or makes me who I am, including some of the things I love. So I've always resisted fitting into the boxes that, society has or other people have, but I've always ended up squarely in those boxes anyway, no matter how hard I tried to kind of push past the edges and resist that. And I think that stress in my life and trying to adjust to others' expectations constantly has really robbed me of who I really am and what I actually love. And I've realized that being in that frame of mind is unsustainable over time, because you can kind of push yourself under for a long time, but eventually either you'll start to just get really down and not know why, or things will start to kind of leak out the edges, the real self. You'll find yourself doing something a little bit crazy, or blaring some music that no one would expect you to listen to out the car window, and for a moment just feeling really alive. And those are the moments where you can kind of grab onto that and say, what part of that is really me, and why am I resisting or trying to hide it? And so as I decompress over time, I have reclaimed this refusal to make myself small for others. So this is maybe how someone defines me, or this is the role they want me to play in their life. But that's not who I really am. And so continuing to kind of let myself be squeezed into boxes, it's less about someone else and more about me. And why do I let that happen? Why do I consistently let that happen? So it's a work in progress. But the first thing that I used to love, that I'm trying to reclaim, is music. And I heard a podcast recently with Jack Black, the actor, and he was talking about how he had kind of stopped listening to music too. So maybe this is just a middle-aged thing. And he had started this, I forget what he called it, but it's where you listen to the entire catalog of an artist, all the in-between, all the, stuff that no one listens to, and the hits, all of it. And you just listen to their whole catalog from start to finish. And that way you kind of maybe uncover some of those hidden gems. So I thought that might be a cool idea. I was thinking, I started yesterday listening to Dire Straits, and just really had a lot of fun cranking it up in the kitchen while I was making dinner. I used to love, when I was a teenager, I was really into folk music, like Simon and Garfunkel and things like that. James Taylor. And so, where did all that go? Why do I never listen to music anymore? I generally listen to, podcasts or YouTube videos, but man, I used to really enjoy music and concerts and just exploring all kinds of different genres. So I'd like to try and get some of that back. The second thing is reading. Now, when I was a kid, if you didn't know where I was, you could find me curled up somewhere with a book, and I went through books so fast. I had a voracious appetite for reading, and I think that's kind of how I got through life and a lot of my childhood and teenage years. And so, I was up till 1, 2 in the morning all the time, and I know a lot of people are like this, but I read through the entire library at my school. Granted, it was a small school, but I read the entire library, like everything I could get my hands on. I read all of the books that my parents had about, theology or marriage and things like that, even when, I had very little idea what they were talking about. So I've essentially stopped reading, which kind of has removed, in some ways, the oxygen from my life, because reading books used to be like breathing for me. And I mean, I started reading young, and then just, even when I had little kids at home, and I had to get up early in the morning or had to be up early for work later on, I would still be reading. I always had something that I couldn't wait to read. And now I don't read at all. And you think, well, how could you not read? You're an English teacher. Well, I read what I have to for those purposes, but it's not like something that I love, if that makes sense. I can't relax. So about 10 years ago, maybe even 15 years ago, I don't know, it's like I have no attention span, and I always feel like there's something else I should be doing. And even though I used to feel that way in the past, I was able to stuff it down. But now I always feel like there's something I should be doing or someone I need to check on. And so I can't get lost in the book. I can't get lost in the character. So I'm still figuring out what that is all about. But I'd love to reclaim and recapture that love of reading. And a third thing, I mean, I could go on a long list, but in the realm of music, again, singing. So I've been a voice teacher. I've always loved to sing. I used to love to sing in the shower, in the car. I was always singing. I was singing with my husband. We would do duets together with him on the guitar, me on the piano. When did I stop singing? My logical guess as to what has happened and why I've lost a lot of these things that I love is using all the available energy that I had to do what I had to do has left me no energy. There's nothing left for what I want to do. And so I noticed that, especially last year when I was really hitting that burnout, I noticed that even when I had time to do something, I couldn't do anything except for what I absolutely had to do. And yeah, so I'd love to reclaim some things that I love. And even though I feel more strength coming into me these days, I feel a bit more determination, I feel even more capacity for doing a few extra things, like teaching some piano, thinking more about the future. I'm still not out of the woods yet. And I know that because I still haven't reclaimed the things that I enjoy. I mean, I do enjoy a good cup of coffee. I do enjoy walks. So there's still things in life that I love, but those main creative things that I used to give me so much life, somewhere along the way they've gotten lost. So I will be kind to myself for a while yet. I will take the time that I need to reclaim some of those things, hopefully. Thanks for coming along. It's gorgeous spring in Alberta. The birds are singing, everybody's out doing their stuff, their yards. I have done a little bit, but I'm frankly overwhelmed by the amount of things I have to do. But I wanted to make this little video to come back and say, I'm still here, I'm still thinking, I'm still video diarying, and thank you for watching. And if you want, in the comments, put something that you love to do or something that you would love to reclaim that you used to enjoy, and hit the like and subscribe if you want to keep coming on this journey with me. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.